The reason you find sales so difficult is because nobody wants to be sold to. Think of it from the customer's perspective. They want to feel in control. They want to understand exactly what they're getting and they want to feel zero pressure into making that decision. The psychology of the sales process is that everybody wants to be in control. That's exactly what sales is. It's a negotiation for who can maintain the most control over that one decision or deal. But the thing most people get wrong is that sales isn't persuasion, right? It's not really about cash collection. It's not really about pushing somebody into something that you want and that they don't, right? Sales is about perspective. Sales is showing somebody that they are in their own way and offering them a solution to a problem they know they have and want solving. So naturally, as part of that process, they will come up with objections. They will have things that they think that need challenging, so challenging beliefs. They will have objections that need handling. They will have a range of reasons why they haven't already made that decision and why they are still considering not making that decision. If you want to sell through social media, it doesn't all come down to collecting the cash. It's down to getting the whole journey optimized so that your buyer feels comfortable and they feel confident in the decision they're going to make. So the 5 ways that you can reduce sales resistance and move people from stranger to sale faster and easier without wasting all your time to get to the call and then to just say, I'm not interested, or I need to ask my partner, or I need to think about it. This is what you're going to do. So step one, understand your sales funnel. Whether you have got a sales funnel formally or whether you just have a process you follow that brings people from not knowing who you are to buying from you, you need to understand which stage people are at in that journey and what they're expecting from you in that stage. So generally speaking, cold audience, they will want to see things like your personality, like your surface level problem solving, like value. They just generally, what they are is aware of a problem but unaware of the solution. You want to make sure that they are problem aware and then solution aware as well, which is where you come in. So your cold audience stuff is going to be content like reels or cold ads, and the goal of that is to show people why you are the right solution for the problem that they have, but without kind of trying to bring them straight into a sale. What you're doing at this stage is you're just making them aware of who you are and making them interested in why you might be the person to solve that problem. Once they're in your world, so whether they are following you or whether they're having a conversation with you or whatever, you're at the kind of midpoint of the funnel. So the top end of the funnel is people who don't know who you are, or maybe they just know who you are, but they're not really interested in buying from you. They're just there. Most people, or most coaches at this point, will blow that point by just reaching out straight away and forcing the sale and trying to rush the process. Now, it's not saying that you can't sell at that point. Like, you absolutely can. Those people are warm, and depending where they've come from, they might already be ready to buy and just need you to break the ice. But approach that message with that intent. You're breaking the ice. You genuinely want to help that person, and you're not at this moment thinking about money. You're thinking about them as a customer and providing them the outcome that they want to buy. Once they come down to the middle line, that's where you want to hit them with conversion optimized content. So things like proof that you can do what you say you do. Things like real value based and trust building. So the process is known as know, like, trust. So they know who you are already. They like who you are because they've gone from cold to warmer and they follow you now. The trust bit then comes in this stage here, and it's like, can you deliver on the promise? Is their money going to go to a good place? Are you a reputable source? All of that kind of stuff. At this point, it's where you're squeezing people in. So the goal is to get cold audience into followers, and then followers into prospects, which is at this point here. The content here will be slightly different because you're not approaching people who don't know who you are. You're approaching people who know who you are, know what you do, and have already said by following you that they're interested in what you've got to offer. So this level is where we talk about not surface level pain, but like you dig a little deeper. Say if there's 10 levels of pain, right, that somebody can be in. Your content should empathize with them. People say poke pain points, but that's not really the way to do it, right? The way to do it is to show empathy. It's to show that you understand the pain that they're in, and then to promote a solution to get them out of that pain. So if your cold content maybe touches on levels like 1 to 2 of pain, so things like you're not happy with how your body looks. Further down in your social proof and in the extra stuff you're doing, that's where you can target things like, and you felt very insecure when you were last on holiday with your top off, and you always turn the lights off when you go to bed, or Or you've hated how you look forever and now you're snapping at your kids whenever they eat too much food because you're scared that they'll turn out the same way. This is digging deeper into that pain. You're not like poking them and agitating, you're just showing that you understand where they're coming from. And even though these situations are like really specific, people will resonate with them. But if you try and pull that at surface level, at cold audience level, they will switch off because people don't go on social media to feel pain or to be sold to, right? So when they come on social media, they want to be entertained, they want to get value, all that kind of stuff. That's cold audience. Once they then trust you, that's when you can start leveraging a little bit more. And that's where the sale is, because you won't sell at surface level. But once you start talking about this stuff and the empathy, the understanding, the trust, that's where things move a little faster. The next stage for conversion is things like direct messages, or it's things like email marketing, lead magnets. It's those direct exchanges one-to-one. So when you're posting content to a cold audience, it's massive outreach, surface level. When you're doing conversion-based content, that is a bit more targeted, it's a bit more personal. And then after that, you pull them down to one-to-one. So whether you've got a setter or not, whether your email marketing is obviously going to more people or not, the way that email marketing works, it's structured direct one-to-one. So it should read in the same way that DM reads. That's the goal, really. It's, although, yes, it's a mass outreach, it's not, it's going to your hottest leads and it's going direct to them one-to-one. They could reply to that conversation and have a one-to-one conversation with you. You can't do that on social media when you've posted some content because they comment and then everybody else can see it, all that kind of stuff. And then the final level is when you get them on a sales call. Now, when you get them on a sales call, your goal isn't to persuade them. That should have already been done. All of the persuasion happens all the way down the funnel, from cold audience, persuading them that you are an authority, from warmer audience, persuading them that they can trust you with their lives and their feelings and their money. And then when you get to the sales process, that's purely negotiation. All that is you understanding their perspective, understanding the reason that they're not just already solving that problem. Because when they come to you for the solution for a problem, it's not about showing them that they need the solution. If you have to tell them that they need to solve that problem, then all of this stuff up here has been completely ineffective, right? You want to make sure that the process from cold audience, ads, content, and then through to more deeper levels of nurturing content and conversion content, and then down into emails and then direct messages and then obviously on the call. You want to make sure all of that process is doing its job. So when you get onto the call, the conversation is essentially like, what do we do from here? Not how much is it? I just wanted more information, because the more information shit, that's all up there. That's your funnel side. When they get onto the call, it isn't about more information. When they get onto the call, it is about conversion, one-to-one. Let's move them from A to B. The only reason you should not close on a sales call should be you are literally financially impossible for them, because everything else should have been handled. For them to come on a call and to say to you, I just wanted more information, or I wanted to think about it, or I'm not sure it'll fit in my life, or any of these other objections, these all need handling. And yes, they will bring some to the call because they need handling one-to-one, face-to-face. But realistically, that's what your content's there for. And that's the thing about having an effective content plan and an effective strategy and funnel built. Because if you haven't got things like email marketing directing people one-to-one, then you're relying on Instagram messages to do it all. And you either do them yourself, and that's very time consuming and shy, or you get a setter on it, and if you're lucky, your setter will be good at it and you'll be able to get that conversion. But realistically, what you want is you want something effectively set up so you can mass market email marketing, and then you can deal with inquiries as they come in, but a way to promote them, which is what the whole point of it all is for. But in summary, the process of the sales funnel is not to persuade people to buy your service. It's to persuade people, or not even persuade. It's to show people. It's to change their perspective of you. So it is all about perspective at every level. Like you're an unknown person. You have to change their perspective from you are just like everybody else to you could be a solution to this problem. Once they think you could be a solution to the problem, you have to change their perspective from you could be a solution to the problem to I need to solve this problem right now, and this guy's the only one who can help. And that's the process. It is at each point changing the perspective. But if you handle the perspective in the same way throughout, it just won't work, because different people need different things. And that's where a lot of people fail. It's where a lot of coaches fail, because their content at generic surface level will be shite and like everybody else because there's no personality in it. Or their content will be entirely personality. So then all they get is like viral shit, and they get followers who enjoy the content but are never going to buy. Because that is successful, they will then come down to the conversion level, and then you can talk to them a bit more directly, start talking about their problems. The thing with this is, right, your top level, surface content will get a lot of engagement, a lot of likes, a lot of eyes on, because it's surface level. There's no exchange, there's no expectation. When you get down to the conversion level, you will get a lot less social media engagement because it's painful, it's direct, it's targeted. People know then that they're in the sales process and that sales resistance is up. So a lot of coaches will get disheartened at that fact and they'll be like, no, this kind of viral shit does better. Yes, for views, for reach, but not for conversion. Conversion needs handling in a different way. And that's where your direct messages being good, that's where your email marketing comes in, that's where building trust and showing empathy is so important. If you need a hand getting this whole funnel thing set up, so knowing what to post at each time, knowing how to get your ads clicking, knowing how to market through email, knowing what to send on emails and when to send it, and just taking a lot of that shit off your plate, because that is a lot of work, granted, but it needs doing if you want to be successful. So if you do want a hand with any of that, just drop me a message and we can have a chat.